Welcome to another edition of This Week in Disc Golf. It is Thursday, January 19th. I'm Charlie Eisenhood, and they sometimes say where there's smoke, there's fire.
Camera one rolling. Mike's hot. Lights.
On it.
5, 4, 3, 2.
So there it is. The final puzzle piece of the 2022 contract season has fallen into place. Simon Lazat signing a 10-year deal with MVP. And so this joins the ranks of Paul McBeth leaving Innova and joining Discraft, Ricky Wysocki leaving Innova and joining Dynamic Discs, as a top player makes a huge move in contract season. So Simon is going to be getting at least $1 million a year from this deal, as well as a signing bonus. MVP also paying a buyout to Discmania. Simon was in the first of a new 4-year deal that they agreed to last spring. So overall, a huge investment from MVP as they've continued to grow as a company, blooming from 2 injection molding machines at the beginning of 2020 to more than 15 now. It's been a meteoric rise, and Simon Lazat becomes a part of it in his age 30 year. Simon Lazat, of course, coming off of 4 Elite Series wins in 2022, and he will be going to Team Gyro now as he works to build his bag. He's still getting out there for his first round with his new discs and has just a few weeks to get ready to go before the start of the season at the Las Vegas Challenge. MVP has already announced that they'll be releasing some Tour Series discs, of course, but also some discs in collaboration with Lazat as he gets his own line of discs, much like we've seen from other manufacturers and their top players. So remains to be seen how this will work out for both parties, but it is a monumental move. Lazat getting a brand new bag after 10 years with Discmania, and MVP signing their biggest player to date. They also announced, of course, that 4-year renewal with James Conrad, Sarah Hokum back as well. So MVP continuing to grow as a brand with their marketing efforts. Elsewhere in contract land, Paige Shue signs a deal with Discraft. So she, of course, announced earlier that she was going to be leaving Dynamic Discs, and she will be joining up on the tour team for Discraft, the second tier of support. She's going to be getting an RV from the company as they travel around the country, she and her husband Grady, and their 2-year-old daughter Savannah. So 2018 world champion Paige Shue getting back out there. Going to be exciting to see how she stacks up in the modern FPO game. Linus Carlson has agreed to a 5-year extension with Latitude 64. He's planning to tour more in the US this year. Carlson, one of the top players over in Europe, and was a frequent face on coverage this season. Natalie Ryan also signing a 5-year deal and announcing that she's planning to be competing at A tiers on tour around this season. Now, of course, Ryan, a transgender woman, has been barred from competing at the top level PDGA and Disc Golf Pro Tour events. And so while there may be legal action pending in the future on that, she's certainly alluded to that. For now, her plan is to compete where she can, and that means at A tiers. So Neptune Discs signs a 5-year contract extension with Ryan, and she will continue to get support from Neptune even if she's unable to compete at the Disc Golf Pro Tour events, Elite Series, and Majors. Additionally, Zach Melton extends with Dynamic Discs. Austin Turner and Austin Hannum both sign with DGA. Jake Mon signs on with Discraft. That brings us to our StatMando stat of the week. Take a look at this chart. It shows you the sponsorship changes, and it shows you how StatMando's Player of the Year points distribution has changed after contracts were signed with different manufacturers. So you can see the biggest growth, well, you got to give it to Lone Star. Infinity. They go from 0 to 4107 real quick. And, of course, signing some notable pros, and they're inside the top 10. Also, of course, big moves from Infinite. MVP signing up, of course, Simon Lazat gives them tons of additional points. They're up inside the top 5 now. Discraft making gains as well at the top end as they add Anthony Barella, Holland Handley, Valerie Mondahano, and others. Slipping, Dynamic Discs loses a big chunk of its points. That's mostly Valerie Mondahano walking out the door. Discmania also taking a big hit with Simon leaving. And Innova lost some of their mid-tier talent, although they still remain up in the top 2. But Discraft has taken over the top spot, at least based on last year's performance. We'll see what happens in 2023. Now to our social media minute. Paige Shue, Grady Shue, enjoying their new RV. They're going to be riding around in the Discraft RV this season. And big lifestyle change coming for the Shues. Pretty cool to see how excited Paige is about the new digs, the new vehicle. And they'll be off on the road getting things started at the Las Vegas Challenge. Finally this week, just wanted to check in about the Disc Golf Pro Tour Industry Conference. It's coming up in February, right before the All-Star Weekend in Tucson. And it's going to be all about disc golf business. There's going to be some notable keynotes. Celebrity chef Andrew Zimmern will be talking about how he discovered a love for disc golf and his perspective on growth in the industry. Disc Golf Pro Tour CEO Jeff Spring will be speaking as well. There will also be speakers and panels on a variety of topics, including entrepreneurship in disc golf, that one coming from Steve Dodge, who's got a lot to offer on that front, no question. National retail, Disc Golf Pro Tour events, intellectual property law, social media, lots more. I'm actually going to be on the media panel alongside Terry Miller and Jonathan Gomez. That will be moderated by Jeff Spring, talking a little bit about all things media in disc golf and how the landscape has changed over the last few years. So if you want a ticket, it is a little pricey, $5.99 to get in, but you can come enjoy the Arizona sunshine. You can find out more details at dgpt.com, and you can stick around for the All-Star event if you come out to Tucson. That's going to do it for This Week in Disc Golf. Thanks so much for tuning in.